Hey there, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Good morning, crypto friends. We are live. We doing out there? Everything is up. End of episode. Just kidding. We are looking here at BTC USD. Still got that support sitting down to 62,862. And resistance up above us there. Trying to get to that new all-time high. So resistance at the 64,724. And then all-time high there to 64.965. For Bitcoin, let's have a look at Ethereum, ETH, USD. Very similar situation here. Ethereum, we get the all-time high at the 2400, so 2407.34, and then your resistance there is 2385.61. And looking for support to hold at the 2267.66. Today's the day for CoinBase to go do their public listing. All the names are up. Let's move on to BNB, Binance Coin. We have support down there at the 552.44 and resistance at the 596 for BNB USD. Moving on to Cardano, ADA. Cardano got our new all-time high. We'll move that up there. The 157. Support down there at the 1.473. I'm sorry, 1.472. And resistance level there on the climb back through. Going to have to get through that 1.49 for Cardano. Moving on to PolkaDot, DOT, USD. We have resistance up at the 44.3. Should say support at the 42.43 and resistance at 44.39. And moving on to Doge. Doge is up there for the time being. Blue sky breakout for Doge. Support down to 0.1259 and previous resistance would be right there. As we're starting to test that already, 0.1402. And sitting up there at the all-time high for Doge. Moving on to Litecoin. Most of these names I will mention are overbought, so keep that in mind. LTC USD. We have resistance up there, 283.83, and support trying to hold up. I got the all-time high. Wrong one. And your support level right there as we sit on it, 275.02. Move on to LINK USD, Chainlink. We have resistance all the way up at the 38.02. It's a new all-time high as well. And support down at the 36.50. Let's move on to XLM, Stellar. New all-time high, the 0.691. We have resistance right at that area, that wick. There we go, at the 0.673. And your support will hold down at the 0.642 for XLM. Moving on to Vechain, VET, USD. Vechain breaking out as well, so we have support. We got that off the 1 hour to 0.1621 and resistance 1.170 as we climb back into blue sky breakout. For Vechain, let's look at Vethor, VTHO, USD. Resistance, double top up there at the 0.0166 and have a new support level on these bottoms here at the 0.015. Moving on to FIL USD. Big massive candle here on FIL USD making its way up through. Got support up there at the 173.28. And are we at all-time high? No, we are not for this particular one. So resistance up at the 178.94. We'll move on to Storj, STORJ USD. Support holding at the 2.360 and resistance up at the 2.432 for STORJ. IOTA cooling off a little bit here on the RSI, so looking for a bounce attempt coming into play for IOTA. We have support trying to fall through at the moment, so we'll get it down there to 1.9998 support, and your resistance on the previous high at the 2.13, and then there's your all-time high up at the top, the 2.32 all-time high for IOTA. Moving on to comp, COMP USD. 474.83 is your support level, and resistance to watch climbing back through is the 487.79. Moving on to basic attention coin, BAT. Have resistance at the 1.56 and support down there, sitting right on it as we speak, the 1.481 for BAT. Let's look at Ethereum Classic, ETC USD. Managed to get all the way up there and set us a new all-time high at the 22.68. We have resistance to encounter first, the 22.13, and support to hold at the 20.69. We'll look at NEM, XEM USD, support the 0.411, and resistance 0.4275. Looking at MANA, MANA USDC, support 1.056, and resistance going to be right there. We try to get both those averages again. We're sitting right pretty on that 26-day moving average, so resistance at the 1.09. Moving on to ZIL, ZIL USD. We have support at 0.2000 and resistance up there at the 0.2053 for ZIL USD. Looking at NU. Get that stop loss down there out of the way. There we are. Looking to hold support at the 0.5813, and then your resistance level and climb back through. Going to be right there at the 0.590. Let's have a look at NMR USD. So looking for support to hold 70.63 and resistance up at the 73.939 as we're trying to get above the 12 and the 26. Having a rough time at the moment, but we will pull through. Moving on to GRT USD graph token. Get that up there where it belongs. There we are. So we have support on this massive candle here at the 2.008 and resistance to get through the 2.13. And moving on to Uniswap. We have a support at the 34.26 and resistance 36.29 for Uniswap. Staring at that all-time high within range. RSI is starting to cool off a little bit for this particular name. Moving on to AAVE USD. We have support at the 394.22 and resistance at the 404.44. And moving on to MKR USD. MKR trying to run here. The double top up there. But not to worry. Got support. The 2550.92. Resistance up at the 2704 for MKR. Moving on to audio. Where are you at there, audio? There we are. First line of support, 2.597, and the resistance up there at the 2.77, just underneath that 100-day moving average. Volume pretty light traded here on the audio. So looking at CHZ USD. Support down at the 0.480 and resistance on the climb back through will first be right there at the 0.512. Looking at Theta, THETA USD. Got through that previous resistance I had set earlier, and we have support right on top of these moving averages as we got all the way through and above it. And looking at that support at the 12.30 and resistance at the 12.458. Let's have a look at ENJ. ENJ holding the support at the 2.915, and your resistance is going to be just underneath that 12-day moving average at the 3.03. And wrapping up here with Harmony One. We'll get the support down there at the 0.1429 and resistance. As you see, we're rejecting off these moving averages. Right there at the top of that candle, these two there at the 0.1497. Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D, slightly down. And the total crypto market cap is up 2.3% at $2,193,000,000,000. Well, that wraps it up for me, folks. Appreciate you. Have a great day out there, and watch out for that CoinBase IPO today. I think it's at 2 o'clock. So have a good one out there. We'll speak to you tonight at the Crypto Happy Hour.